Thanks, Dr. Grover sir and Dr. Bavankule sir and UTSI. I think I will start with by saying Dr. Bavankule is my first teacher for trauma, and I remember in March, and I don't know whether sir will remember it or not, March 1998, and I remember the date also, third week of March. I was assisting him in intraocular foreign body, and then he asked me, "Do you want to do trauma or do you want to do eye?" That was the start of my journey, and I was just an intern assisting him for intraocular foreign body in 1998. So, sir, that's almost like, I don't know how many years now, 23 years, 24 years. And after that, I met Dr. Grover as my examiner. And he asked me a question on blowout fracture for FRCS Glasgow in 2002 in LV Prasad, Hyderabad in February 2022. So I think we had a long journey, and with Mehul, we spent a lot of good time in Rome. When my bag was stolen in Rome, Mehul and Dr. Rekha Khandelwal and Dr. G. Sita Lakshmi were taking care of me in 2006 when we were in Rome together. And I was literally in pain because my laptop, everything was gone. And Dr. Srinivas K. Rao, he prepared the presentation for me for scleral fixture at AIOC. I was with him that time. A lot of traumatic experiences also I had during the journey, particularly that Rome one, but pleasant experiences also, and I met friends. So coming to this eye gates, and as the title, yes sir.
No, nothing. Hi, I said.
Yes, sir. Natarajan sir. So Natarajan sir, I think again to say about him, what should I say? September 2009, when I was there, September 1999, when I was there at Shankar Netralaya alumni presentation on 7 September, Founders Day of Shankar Netralaya. He was the first person to come to me saying that Rupesh, let's do something on the trauma and something together. So since that time, he's been my mentor and guru. And a lot of name means I can't say that. Dr. Ganga in 2002, he asked me to repair a corneal laceration repair in night 2 a.m. He was holding my hand and asking me how to stitch the corneal laceration. So I think it's a very long journey and countless names. And this has come a platform based on all those experiences. And I realized one of the challenges which I was facing, and now also we are facing, was the registry. And we've been talking about it for quite some time. I thought, how do we make it better? And this was the whole idea why this registry was born over a period of last 20, 30 years. So we do understand that there is a volume of trauma and it has not reached the recognition. And unfortunately, it's always the last session of the last day for most of the conferences and the least attended kind of a symposium by a lot of people. So it does not get any recognition, lack of education, lack of training, lack of regulatory frameworks, lack of research, though a lot of efforts being put by OTSI.
Just an interruption, Rupesh. This is the prime time for conference which is virtual.
Okay, fantastic. No, this is really, really great. And I think this is through the efforts of OTSI and all the things we are able to get to a main forum, and we are able to project this where how we can get trauma at a center stage where a lot of people are attending, because this is something really need a lot of focus. And the reason I say that, and this is from the real experience for myself, and I use this picture time and again to remind me how the things can go wrong. This is the picture when I was practicing in Ganpati Netralaya, Jalna. This patient came to me, was my neighbor. He was about to be eviscerated. I said, no, we can refix your eye. And we did it. He still able to see with this eye, was about to be eviscerated. But you can imagine how trauma eyes can go wrong if you don't fix it properly. And same thing here also. So if you don't remember the basics, the thing can go wrong. And how do we get back to the basics? Is again, I will go back to the classification which was put down in 1992 to 1997, but nothing has changed. And that was the whole idea of starting something like a platform. So there were multiple objectives. One of the objectives was to develop a global database where we start speaking a common language, number one. And then we develop a classification system which will be helpful for baseline classification as well as prognosis of a patient with ocular trauma. And we also developed some survey-based consensus guidelines, which a lot of you have filled up. And hopefully we can get some kind of Delphi approach guidelines. And eventually AI is the buzzword in everything, in AMD, diabetic retinopathy. So why can't we use AI to solve our problems in trauma also? So that's the whole idea is, can we use AI for developing a clinical decision support system, which we call it as a CDSS. So this is with these objectives, we set up a platform. A lot of efforts have gone in, and we did kind of inspired for ASOT to start. And I think here we have Grant Justine, who is now Secretary of ASOT, Marcus Collier, who was there in World Congress, Ferenc Kuhn, who has been inspiring for a lot of people, Bob Mazzoli, of course, our own Professor Natarajan, Dr. Ganga, and a lot of people, and Kendrick is here, Annette is here, and rest. So this is in 2019 AO, and after that ASOT started, and ASOT has done a lot of wonderful work. So that's something, again, the inspiring work being done by OTSI and ASOT and APOTS. In the process, we also managed to get some publications, and these are some of the publications and presentations which we had. Very recently, we had a letter to editor in ophthalmology about the registry, what we should be doing moving forward. And more important than that, with all the global collaboration, we got a paper on a large series of 800 over patients in Graphes about the epidemiology and outcome of open global. This is the largest ever series ever will be published about the ocular trauma. And soon after that, we also got a paper on fireworks also accepted recently. So we are moving forward slowly but surely. So what is this iGates about? I like to spend like last 3-4 minutes only talking about this platform. So here we enter the data, whether it is a retrospective or prospective, and it goes through multiple stages, eventually to create a registry, which I'll give you a demo in a minute. So this is how we should be entering the data after creating a username and password. Now, that's the user interface UI. And I was glad Viral Shah and other people, they put up a digital tools in one of the conferences, I think yesterday. And something here we have tried to use some of the digital tools. And on the back end, when we have all the registry, it will go on to the next step of data mining and data image processing. And eventually there will be some kind of interpretation engine where there will be a prediction API to develop a predictive modeling and a classification, which will happen at the backend along with automated image analysis. So something which we are developing on, and very glad that OTSI have partnered and one of the major partner for this platform, along with other major societies, including AIOS. Dr. Namrata did agreed, and we are trying to set up some kind of an agreement with AIOS. So if Dr. Namrata, you are online, maybe it's a good time we can revisit our dialogue, what we had it with ASOT and with APTA and the Chinese Ocular Trauma Society. So this is what we are doing. So let's get a real glimpse of how does it the platform look like. I will change the screen share option to the new one. Okay, here we are. So this is how the platform will look like. So any new user will end up into this new page, which gives you everything about what is iGates. It gives you an introductory paragraph. It has got different phases, registry. Then what is the objective? How does the data entry should go on? Then there is a tutorial video and a disclaimer, what we are and what we're supposed to do, and everything is here. After that, once you are gone through that, you can do a sign up. After you sign up, you can have a login. So let's say you are a new user, you have to register your site. So those AIOS friends, members who are listening, please feel free to log into igates.oculartrauma.com and then register your site. Once you have registered your site, you can do, you will get a username and password. If you are not able to get it, please do contact me. After that, you can sign in. Once you sign in, this is like a master kind of a platform. Already you can see there are certain records being entered. You can create a new record for your own institute, but I will just show you who are the users right now. So this is the admin account. Therefore, I can see who are the users and what are the sites. So let's just see the sites. So we have Singapore site, we have Jakarta, we have Malaysia, we have our own Mehul Shah, Sydney Eye, Colorado School of Medicine, Prem Subramaniam, and you can see they have already entered 24 patients. So I think they are doing very well. We have from Iran, 21 patients already going on. APTA has started entering. We have Indonesia, NKP Salve, Nagpur, Sakin Singh, Amritsar, Narayan Netralaya, Bangalore, Aditya Jodh, Shankar Deva Netralaya, NUH, Gangaram Hospital, Virat Eye Hospital, Nepal, Mexico, and MM Joshi, Giridhara Institute have entered 160 patients already. All India Institute of Medical Sciences, BP Koirala. Then we have centers from Guatemala. This guy has been phenomenal. Jose Romero, he's been doing extremely good work. Bosnia. Can't you imagine? It's like a platform which brings global everyone on the same page. So this is the beauty about this platform. It does not recognize any kind of a boundary, and we have set up a virtual almost like a virtual institute for trauma here. Now you can see some of the entries being done, but let's create a new entry. So this is, let's say I'm entering my record. I've got a demo platform. So I will go for demo. It can be used for both prospective as well as retrospective patient. So when you click retrospective, or you can click prospective, we got ethics approval, everything in place, and you can create record from as back as 2020 or anything. You can go back to 2000 also, and you can get a record from 2000 and then something 2010 or 2014 something, and then you can create record for January 2014. Male, female, age, you can select age, everything is drop down, and duration from time of injury to time of presentation. You can say 2 days, maybe 6 hours presentation. Race is an Asian, sub-race is Indian. Okay. Past medical history, if you have anything, you can add there. But if it is not there, ocular history, if it is there. Very important is the search index ID. You will get, there is no patient identifier at any stage. So you will get ID, and you want to record it. Let's say it is Aditya Jyot Eye Hospital patient, Aditya Jyot Eye Hospital 007, for example. So it's like for Dr. Natarajan James Bond. So we get it here, Aditya Jyot 007. We save it. So we can move to the next page. Injury details are there. Eye involved.
Mute कर दीजिए buzzer को.
Then we have home injury, accidental injury, eye protection present, yes, no. Then which type of eye protection was there. Then mechanism. So we have put special emphasis. I'm finishing soon. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, I'll be done. So we got special emphasis on mechanism of objects and non-ophthalmic injury, yes, no. So the reason was that because a lot of times this information is missing. Once we got this, we say save. We got this, and then we have all the other information which is there. Visual acuity. Let's say we say visual acuity, RAPD present, corneal injury, yes, involving visual axis. So this way we'll be asking multiple questions with a proper drop down. And I will show you what is the reason of all this thing. Once you save it, you have to click compulsory choices, open globe injury, and then this is globe rupture, for example, and you say zone 3 injury, and you say save. And here it is left eye vision. Now, very important is baseline. You want to see what's happening to this patient. Once you save it, automatically you will be able to see the ocular trauma score. You can see there is ocular trauma score which is already recorded. So you can counsel the patient that chances of you getting 20/40 is 1%, and chances of you getting no light perception is 73%. So immediately on the table, on the clinic, you can probably give a score, and this is developed using the score developed by BETS. And subsequently, you can fill up the rest of the form at each visit, and you can also go for final anatomical and visual outcome. And at the same time, you can submit images, upload images, whatever types of images are there, whether it is CT scan, illustration, and this will give you a really fulfilling experience. One patient will not take more than 7-8 minutes if you enter the record, and all the records will be archived, and it will be time stamped. So this is the beauty about this. Now, let's say you go back home after 1 month, 2 months, you want to come back to this patient. You have to just type AGEH007, and then you will be entering into the same record. So this is the record, and you are back into the record. So once you type it, yeah. So this is something about the platform, and very happy for anyone to contact me, and we can then go through all the details. I know I taken extra time.
Rupesh, can you point out the advantages to the user? He can have a printout of the data that he's fed in, and he can get an ocular trauma score, prognosis.
Yes,
Point out the advantages to the user.
Multiple users advantage. A, he can register all his records, retrospective, prospective. So he can have his own data bank, one. Number two, for a particular patient, he can have a printout, get it taken consent or whatever things needed to be done, and he can put it into his electronic medical record. Second. Third, if he has his own data, he can publish his own paper, and we will support him with the statistics tool. So let's say you have 200 patients, you use the platform, you publish your own paper, and also your data can be used for global registry, and which you will be part of the group author also. So those way you are contributing not only for the scientific, but also for your clinical advantages. There is a way, if you don't like to use internet, and if you just want to use it in your hospital system, we can give you a form in a downloadable way where you can just use it in your network and without letting, let's say, sir, practice in Gangaram Hospital and you don't want anyone from All India Institute to see. It will be only within this Gangaram Hospital and no one else in Delhi will see what is entering in the form. All those features have been built into this form.
Thank you, Dr. Rupesh. It has been wonderful to have you, to have everybody introduced to the new changes and that you've carried out to make it so much user-friendly and advantageous to the user. Wonderful to have had a great session. I'm grateful to my co-chairpersons who really made this session so interesting, all the speakers who participated and gave such wonderful talks. It has been a wonderful 1.5 hours. Grateful to all of you and grateful to Priyam and the hall managers for having organized things so smoothly. Thank
Ashok,
you. Yeah, thank you, Nati.
Fantastic
I just want to say,
presentation.
no, I wanted to say to Rupesh in one of the sessions, Ferenc Kuhn, myself, and Rupesh was not there. So one thing Ferenc Kuhn told that particular meeting, I don't remember which one it is. He said, great thing has been done by APOPS's Rupesh Agrawal and for the eye gates. So you're very, very proud of that. And he said it's a great contribution to international ocular trauma.
Yes, I think
Thank you very much.
Rupesh has given a lot of new energy to ocular trauma globally. So we must appreciate that.
Great.
With your blessings, sir.
Thank you to be part of that, Rupesh.
No, thanks, Dr. Mehul.